got a few little items here for the Comanche. I got me some just basic 10W40 motor oil. Got 5 quarts of that. And yesterday I kind of piddled with the spot welds. And come to find out, I just remembered how bad I hate drilling out spot welds, especially probably over 100 of them. I got me an oil filter. Stay over there. Stay in your lane, dude. And I picked up something that if any of you all dare to try drilling out spot welds, you need to get you a spot weld cutter. This is from Blair. It's probably one of the better ones on the market. They're about 20 bucks. So yeah, that's going to be a lot better than trying to use drill bits. And I just got some throttle body cleaner to spray that gooey throttle body. So, meet the belly of the Jeep. You know, I always told myself that my days of crawling around with the gravel were done. But I guess I lied. So, here's the drain pan. Of course, the plug is on the other end. It's got a new starter on it. That's pretty cool. Okay, got the oil changed, and to get the drain plug off was a beast. Now, when I did pull this off, there was absolutely no metal stuck to this. Okay, usually these are magnets, but then again, I don't feel it even grabbing on here. So maybe that isn't a magnet, it's just a plug. So I had my hand all through this hole, trying to feel some grit, little pieces of metal, which I did find. Like, that's just dirt. I did find a couple little bitty metal shavings, or like little flakes, like little. I mean, it was tiny. I guess about that big. Maybe a little bit smaller. But I'm not going to be really concerned, because if I had to guess, this oil's not been changed for a long time. I mean, it is coal black. I mean, it doesn't feel gritty or nothing until you get down into it and you actually dig in the corner, and then you start pulling up that stuff. Now, I don't know if that might be rust, but I do know I did find one little metal flake or shaving or whatever you want to call it in it. But that's not discouraging me quite yet. Of course, this motor does have almost 300,000 miles on it. So I'm going to change the oil and run it for a little while, and then probably in the next couple weeks I'll change it again and then check for all that grittiness and stuff and see if it's still there. So I'm going to get the oil changed, let it run. Next thing I'm going to do is get I'm going to run a compression test on all 4 cylinders, and then I'm going to do a leak down test if I can find a tester I can rent, and see if there's any head gasket issues or anything. But I don't suspect there is, because there's no water and there's no coolant in the oil, which is a good thing. Well, hold on. That still might be up in the air, because there wasn't any coolant in it when I first started it. But I did add water, so I'm not seeing any water, so that's good. But, you know, it is what it is. It's an old vehicle, needs a little love. What are you going to do, man? You just got to fix it. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my towel and wipe off the mating surface of the oil filter. Make sure it's good and clean. Take a little bit of fresh oil and lube up the end of this filter. Put a little bit of oil around the surface, that way it gives a good sealing surface and doesn't leak. Lube up this little gasket here. That way it gets a good seal, doesn't leak anything. So here goes 4 quarts of lubrication, 10W40. Now I'm going to take my little throttle body and intake cleaner, give this thing a nice little clean. Probably won't do anything, but never hurts. And once I get it running, I'll start, spraying around lines and hoses and stuff like that, and seeing if there might be like a vacuum leak or something. Sweet. Well, I would sit down, but I don't have a seat now. Let's give her a go. Hopefully I don't have it in gear. Come on, girl. You know you want to go. Loud. The Eiler toys. I think it's that one right there. It's the sticky one. Nope. That's the starter. Now, the next part that I need to get is an ignition switch. It goes in the column. Because apparently it doesn't have any spring back and it's constantly trying to get the starter to engage. So I think I might have just messed up the starter, but oh well, they're cheap. So this is getting fixed next. Let's see if it doesn't fix that problem. Now I'm just in here poking around and looking at the fuse block, seeing what kind of shape it's in. And if you notice, if you look in the upper left-hand corner where it says blower, see that burn spot? That's where those dummies had that stupid wire going for that heater. And it looks like it's melted the spot for the blower motor fuse and the fuse next to it for the radio. That's why you don't do that kind of stuff. Dummies. Take the steering wheel off and try to replace that lock cylinder. So I pulled off the horn cover. This should just slide right off. And I got that nut I need to remove. 21mm socket. And it looks like somebody's been in here before. It kind of looks like they messed up the first part of this thread. Hopefully that won't ruin anything. Come on, you dummy. So, I've got my steering wheel puller installed and got to get the right nut. And it's right here. And it should pop off, hopefully. I actually need some washers right here, but I don't have any, so I'm hoping this will work. And there we go. Do believe the steering wheel is free. See right in here, there's a snap ring. I have to push this down. Somehow get some snap ring pliers in there to get that little sucker out. Then this will come off and give me access to all the good guts. Now that that goofy snap ring is off, I couldn't even use my snap ring pliers because they were too big. So I had to use a old ice pick and a screwdriver and pry it up. Now I'm going to take these two pieces together off, which is like just like that. Set that daintily over there. 4 screws I need to remove here. There's a screw that goes right here, which has got a cam on it, or a little bearing. That piece, which engaged the turn signal stock, There's a screw here, there's a screw down here, and I got to remove the screw from the hazard lights, and then this whole assembly should slide out. And now, if all goes well, this should come out if I can get my fingers on it somehow. Now that I got the doohickey away from the thingamabob, I need to get an 8mm socket and get on that little nut inside here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. There we go. I'm gonna get that little booger out. There she be. Now, if I'm right, this should slide at, oh yeah. There we go. Let me see here. Now I'm hoping this fixes my problem with the starter. If not, I'm not really sure where to go then. Maybe it's the starter's hooked up wrong. Or... So here's the new lock cylinder with the new keys. Isn't she purty? One thing you want to keep in mind when you put the lock cylinder back in its cubby hole, you don't want to push this 100% of the way in, or that bolt that's back here won't go through the hole. So make sure you pull this out just a skosh so that bolt can go through and you can thread it in. So I'm going to see how that springs back. That other one didn't do that. So now installation is just a reverse process. You slide the main doohickey back in its slidey place and then you put in your 3 screws, and then you get your little turn signal cam and put that back in place. And you see it's got a little I guess you call it a bearing that's fitted on the end into this, which makes it do its up and down thing. So I'm very technical this morning. Test it out and see what happens. Huh. It still does it for some reason. Looks like I found out where my error was. That green wire didn't go to the coil, so this green wire actually went to this relay. I seen there was another terminal that was open. Plugged it in, everything worked okay. I'm gonna try to tighten this pulley up to get rid of that stupid squeaking. That's driving me crazy. Okay, so I got this Eiler pulley off, the whole assembly. You can see where they broke a bolt off, and I was trying to back it out, but it's just so stripped it won't grab. And this pulley is so... Hear that? That bearing is probably shot, and that's why that motor sounds so crunchy. Okay, so I had to take this pulley and this bracket up the top of the hill, my buddy Davies, and we tried to weld some nuts to that broken off bolt. Couldn't do it, so I ended up having to drill it out. And now I'm re-tapping that thread so I can run this newer bolt through it. And I think everything should be where it needs to be to get this back together. And I also bought a new pulley. I want to see if I can't hear that. That's causing a lot of that rough sound. So hopefully that pulley will fix that too. Okay, the pulley's on, everything's good to go, but wouldn't you know, the battery that was in here is completely shot. So now, I can't start the motor until I get another battery, which will probably be around Wednesday. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump inside and start drilling out spot welds. Finally, I got the top half of this support brace off, and you can see kind of chewed up. So this right here is the floor, and I need to knock all this here off and grind down these spot welds, because this whole section now is next. I think I'm going to cut it right in front of these bolts and start drilling out all these spot welds all the way up here. And then this plate here is going to come off. Then once that's finished, I can start replacing the floor pan.